Hey guys, Zombie here, and welcome to my first Among Us news video. So there was some big news released yesterday about the future of Among Us, but before we read this post, we first have to read this one about Among Us 2. This was about just over a month ago. So InnerSloth, the developer of Among Us, posted, "Hi everyone, time for a big post. First of all, thanks so much for playing and enjoying Among Us. It's been crazy to see how much more popular Among Us could be than we ever imagined." And mind you, this is a month ago, and it's still it's crazy. Second of all, yes, we're confirming Among Us 2. This post is all about what it means and why we're doing it. Among Us 1 servers will stay alive for as long as it has enough players to start games. When we first started, we found that players couldn't really play when the servers had fewer than 50 players per hour. But lately, we've had 70,000 to 110,000 per hour, and I believe that's continued to rise over the last month. It would be crazy to shut off the servers on you in 2021, and even if Among Us 2 gets lots of players, we'll just run both at the same time. If Among Us 1 server shut down, I will open source the code so players can run servers instead. But why are they making a sequel? Well, Among Us 1 has been out for over 2 years. It started as a tiny local multiplayer-only game, and has grown and grown and grown. Online multiplayer took 2 months and a total rework to make happen, and then 6 months per extra map, and horrible server growing pains along the way. It was really not created to be this big. Because of this, it is extremely hard to add more things without breaking existing things. Frankly, it's terrifying to add in more things because the game is so fragile. Fixing this would require recreating core sections of Among Us, then making sure everything else still works on top. It's actually even harder than just making a new game. So the first goal of Among Us 2 is to be made to withstand growth. We want to add to it at least as long as Among Us 1, but with fewer bugs along the way. So what's going to be in Among Us 2? Well, first we plan to basically include Among Us 1 in some capacity. Don't expect us to drag and drop all 3 maps directly over, but we think it's important to keep the simple play of Among Us with crewmates and imposters. But do expect some new options and balance tweaks. For example, we know very well that the re-imposter needs more than 10 players to be balanced, so 12 to 15 player games is a goal. Second, we know that hide and seek is a very popular mode, but it is tough to find or exclude those games. Expect matchmaking to work very differently to better support custom modes and skill levels. Also, we know that forming groups and making friends in Among Us is tough. Accounts and friends will be in Among Us 2 straight out of the gate. Better moderation. We know that hacking, bad behavior, and toxic language is a problem in Among Us 1, and we definitely don't like it, but we've never had the tools to really combat it effectively as a 3-person team, so expect Among Us 2 to launch with fewer hacks, a report button, moderators, etc. But we've always known that the thing that would really make Among Us 2 unique from Among Us 1 is more roles. We aren't far enough in the design to confirm any roles or exactly how they will work, but the primary addition for Among Us 2 is more complexity than just crewmate versus imposter. This would add a lot more replayability to the game, and we're excited to see how we can shake things up for more advanced players. We have a lot of other things we know players want to see, and a lot of surprises in store as well, so definitely think Among Us 2 will be a worthy sequel. That said, we want to get people playing it quickly, so we will probably start small in early access so we can grow Among Us 2 with player feedback. But the above is some of the key bare minimums before we launch it all. The next section is will it cost extra, but I'll skip it. If you read the title, you know it's canceled now. When will it come out? We just started, blah, blah, blah. It's not coming out because it's canceled, but it's saying we haven't even started yet. We just started. So basically, it'll be a while, but we're working on it. So like I said, this was 37 days ago. And now, just yesterday, the 23rd of September 2020, there was a post about the future of Among Us from InnerSloth again, the developers. And this kind of caught a lot of people by surprise. There's been a lot of, I believe there's been a lot of mixed reviews on this, at least in the Discords I'm in, regarding InnerSloth. InnerSloth's Discord for Among Us is actually full. You can't join it, even with the link on their Twitter. So that's interesting, but it's because they need to request more capacity from Discord, and I guess it's a slow process. But anyway, they released this, and the people I've talked to have had some mixed feelings about it. So, hey everyone, Puffballs United here. It's been an exciting time for us the past few months. We've absolutely loved seeing everyone enjoying Among Us. Forte has been working hard to get the servers adjusted to deal with the huge influx of players. Thank you so much for bearing with us through these growing pains. Hopefully we can get started on new content soon. Speaking of new content, us devs had several long discussions about what we want to do with the game. When do we stop working on Among Us 1? What content goes into Among Us 2? The main reason we are shooting for a sequel is because the codebase of Among Us 1 is so outdated and not built to support adding so much new content. However, seeing how many people are enjoying Among Us 1 really makes us want to be able to support the game and take it to the next level. We have decided to cancel Among Us 2 and instead put all our focus into improving Among Us 1. All of the content that we had planned for Among Us 2 will instead go into Among Us 1. This is probably the more difficult choice because it means going deep into the core code of the game and reworking several parts of it. Here are some of the things coming on the horizon, which means for Among Us 1, obviously. Servers. Forte, who's one of the developers, is still working very hard to figure out server issues. We don't have an ETA, but things should hopefully be getting better and better. This is taking up all development time on his end. Colorblind support. It is something we've put off for way too long. We plan on adding other identifiers for players as well as certain color-focused tasks, like wires. This should also open up the potential for more colors. In the past, we couldn't add more colors because it became too difficult to tell players apart. Friend/account system. This is something we've wanted to do for a long time but just haven't been able to tackle. For the health of the game going forward, we're going to sink our teeth in and figure it out. This one will definitely take some time. And they actually announced this for Among Us 2 in the previous post, but now they're just going to implement it into Among Us 1. A new stage. It is still very early, and we only have just begun designing the layout. The theme has been settled on, though. The next stage in Among Us is going to be a Henry Stickmin-themed location, which that's really cool, in my opinion. If you're not familiar with the Henry Stickmin series, I definitely recommend just checking it out. It's also made by InnerSloth, if you didn't know. So they're making it as like a call out to their other series, which I think is awesome. We have lots of other things planned too. We just need to prioritize and organize all our plans. Stay tuned. So that's all we have for now. I think this is very interesting. I'm not exactly sure where I stand in terms of the business standpoint. As people who are subscribed to the channel know, I'm a triple major in finance, accounting, and business administration. I think of a lot of things through the lens of just me as a person, and then I think of it through the lens of business. And I think as a business decision, it's hard to digest, at least on the surface, because obviously I skipped over it, but for Among Us 2, they were gonna charge again for it. Yes, but we know a lot of players just started playing Among Us 1, which makes it look like we're quickly moving to a sequel, so we can try to carry over some of the stuff from Among Us 1, blah, blah, blah. We want to launch with a discount coupon for Among Us 1 owners. It'll still be free on mobile. So they could have made some revenue from releasing a sequel. However, because they said they hadn't even started on it yet, it might take a long time. By the time it came out, it might already be a declining trend. Will this decline? Eventually, but I think it's going strong and it continues to thrive and do better and better as time goes on, and it hasn't been slowing down, it doesn't seem like. So, instead, deciding to pump it into Among Us 1 is definitely interesting. Because now it incentivizes people who are maybe waiting for Among Us 2 instead of just getting Among Us 1 for whatever reason, because they didn't want to pay twice or whatever the reasons were. Now it incentivizes them to buy Among Us 1. I think that's interesting. I know in here somewhere it mentioned wanting to add cosmetics. Yeah, here it is. So have an in-game currency to break up big cosmetic bundles and let people buy or earn just the things they want. This is in the first article regarding the creation of Among Us 2, but I think if they take this idea from Among Us 2 and just put it into Among Us 1, they can actually make a lot of money off of it, which I think is interesting, and it's not going to be mandatory. It's just cosmetic, so it's not going to impact gameplay, it's not going to be pay to win. So I think that's also a very, very interesting way they can go about it, which I think that's the route they're going to go, and I think that's actually the best route they could possibly take. In terms of gameplay mechanics, I'm not sure if they're going to add new gameplay to the existing maps, or if they're going to have like a legacy mode with like the first three and then have new features starting with the new one, or if they're going to, like this, they mentioned they wanted to make matchmaking to be able to separate different game modes like hide and seek. They mentioned that in the first article about Among Us 2. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I definitely will continue to update everyone. I know most of my subscribers are here for Among Us. If you want to stay up to date on all the news Among Us, as well as other tips and tricks videos on Among Us, definitely subscribe. And consider joining my Discord. There's a lot of people in there who try to play Among Us frequently. So if you're interested in playing, you might be able to find a group there. This is on the shorter side. It was really just the news, so I gave a little bit of a business analysis of it, but that's gonna be it for me for now. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in another video, and until then, see you soon.